What is happening, YouTube? So, I hope y'all are enjoying your Friday night and spending it pretty well and going on to a Saturday. And what's better than the Clippers finally winning? But Clippers, please keep the winning going. Just please, just don't just win this game and then stop. Come on, beat the Mavericks and also beat the Lakers and keep on winning and winning, winning because we've been having it bad. Simple as that. And then, but anyways, so the Clippers started off pretty pretty rusty on defense. They were getting scored on like crazy. And then the fourth quarter, that's when we simply just turn everything up. But it was always a competitive game. The Spurs did beat some pretty somewhat of a contending team. They did manage to beat. Let's see, who did they beat? I forgot. They beat the Miami Heat. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Spurs, they're not just like a pushover. Don't let the record simply fool you. But nevertheless, should have been more, tighter if anything. But I'm glad we got a win. But please get the W on Sunday and Tuesday because you don't want to lose to the Lakers, man. Remember, they're the Lakers. The Lakers did get hot. I'll give them that. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies. Don't go out like the Grizzlies. Just beat the Lakers and beat the Dallas Mavericks and slowly keep the W's piling up, so we don't have to go to the play-in and just worry about having a really unlucky injury like what happened with Paul George, and then probably go to the 6th seed and we're probably gonna face, I don't know, the Sacramento Kings, or if the Grizzlies just fall, we face the Grizzlies in the first round, and the Grizzlies, they're pretty inconsistent, so I believe the Clippers have a good edge on the Grizzlies. Or if the Nuggets somehow lose a little bit more, heck, we faced the Nuggets in the first round, but the Nuggets for some reason they always beat the living heck out of us. But I believe if we just utilize everything more properly, I believe we got the Nuggets. But hopefully, I probably prefer to maybe face a team like the Grizzlies because the Grizzlies, they're so inconsistent. They just lost to the Warriors without Curry and Clay and all of them. And well, no, with no Curry, but they still had Clay and Poole, but still. So I believe you know the Grizzlies would be a solid matchup for the Clippers, but at the same time, they're really athletic, and the Clippers, they pretty much have veterans and not really athletic players, and the athletic players, they sit on the bench by Tyronn Lue, which is, not my cup of tea. That's why I get on Ty Lue all the time. But anyways, enough that enough of the intro. Let's get to players by player analysis. So Kawhi Leonard, he just showed everybody that he's the best basketball player in the world. 36 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. He's too good, man. Too good. And people are sleeping on him, which is that's good. We don't want the media to hype us up. We want the media to keep sleeping on us, and then Kawhi just turns up in a playoff and just shocks everybody, and everybody acts all shocked. When meanwhile, Kawhi Leonard was him throughout the whole entire time. Some people went as far as wanting to trade Kawhi, and that's just a short-sighted move because I never forget what Kawhi does in a playoff. He just turns to Michael Jordan. Shout out to Joel Embiid for that quote. And I mean, unless if you're probably trading Kawhi Leonard for Victor Wembanyama, then I would respect it. But I don't know if I would do it. I mean, I guess it's 50-50. But then Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris, he started off cold. His defense was pretty bad. His defense was not the best throughout the whole entire game. His age is catching up to him, so he's kind of slower on defense. But he got the offense going, so that would definitely raise his trade value. I'm definitely down to use him as a trade asset to get someone younger. The person I just really would like to get is not Fred VanVleet, not D'Angelo Russell. Well, D'Angelo Russell, I guess, maybe for a friendly price for the Clippers, but I mean, they might ask a lot, so yeah, probably not. Um, who else? Not Damian Lillard, not Pascal Siakam, but I would just like to go for Rui Hachimura. I would much rather get Rui Hachimura than Kyle Kuzma because Kyle Kuzma, he's been a pretty popular player for Clipper Nation to trade for, and they're probably going to ask for a lot, and so I would rather go for a guy who's a little younger and has a somewhat solid upside, but he's been his value's been pretty low. So, and if we get Rui Hachimura and he just balls out, it'll be satisfying. It'll be extremely satisfying because supposedly some people even went as far to compare him to the next Kawhi. If that is the case, then why not? Just why not go after him? Because the Wizards literally try to trade Rui Hachimura for Jay Crowder, and Marcus Morris and Jay Crowder, they are literally the same type of players, inconsistent in terms of offense, defense, inconsistent as well too. So if we could get Rui Hachimura, that would be solid because it would upgrade our athleticism. He would rebound better. He would have better IQ. You're probably going to lose out some offense for sure, but at the same time, you're going to get off. The team is going to get more athletic. And let's just say we face a team like the Grizzlies in the first round. Hachimura could definitely help out. Or another option is Cam Reddish. I definitely love his defense as well too. But anyways, let's get to the next player, Ivica Zubac. Ivica Zubac is one of the players that I defend a lot this year because he's starting to get some heat lately, but I feel that it's just because he's not been utilized properly. I feel like Zubac should be getting more shot attempts down low. Ty Lue should run more plays through him. Yeah, he would get, but he would have his Butterfinger moments, but at the same time though, um, some of the passes were not the best, so got to consider that as a factor. And when Zubac is good, he gets a lot of rebounds, 16 rebounds and 12 points. So he got a beautiful double. So I would definitely not really move him unless you're getting a significant, massive upgrade. That's just my opinion. Paul George, man, 12 assists and 0 turnover. When has there been a game when Paul George has not turned over the ball? That is extremely rare. And it's the probability of Paul George getting 0 turnovers and him playing 30 plus minutes. It's equivalent of a lightning strike. That is just extremely rare. And a 12 assist too. He was pretty much the point guard of the team. That's amazing. That is purely amazing. And Terrence Mann had a solid 10 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. His defense, I'm not going to lie, kind of sagged off this game. That's why a lot of players just kind of scored on him more often. But at the same time, some of the defense were good. It's just he got scored on. Nick Batum, his offense was stagnant, 3 points, but he got a decent 2 rebounds and 2 assists, 1 block, 1 turnover. Nothing too special. Robert Covington, he didn't get much minutes. He got a solid 2 rebounds, but he was pretty quiet on the offensive end. Norman Powell, man, he was a walking bucket. 4 for 5 from 3, 9-11 from the field goal. He's another player that I'm not going to use in the trade deadline, but on NBA draft night, just because there are so many really good prospects that would definitely help the Clippers get a good amount of youth on our team, because the Clippers need youth. We're getting older, and why not take the perfect opportunity to mine some diamonds from this upcoming NBA draft class? Gotta look, just check out the big boards and everything. You're gonna get impressed, and that's just my personal opinion. Musa Diabate. I'm glad that he's finally getting playing time. Last game against the Utah Jazz, I thought he did pretty solid. He definitely tried his best to bring the energy, but the Jazz just had everything towards their favor. But this game in particular, Diabate didn't do anything. He unfortunately managed to do cardio. His defense he got scored on a lot, but I feel like he definitely was playing at least solid defense. He was in front of the players, just the player just went off. They just have the better offense, so I'm still definitely open to giving him as the backup big, just because I like his agility and his energy. Is just this was just an off game for him. That's just my opinion. Reggie Jackson, he went 4 for 11. Um, I'm glad to see Reggie Jackson slowly getting back into rhythm. 2 assists, 1 rebound. Defense, of course, could definitely use a lot of work. Um, but hopefully he can somehow turn it up during the playoffs. But he got a solid 13 points. It's good to see Reggie Jackson, like I said, slowly get back to his rhythm, find his mojo. But I'm glad that we finally won, because we have been losing for so long. But now let's get to the Spurs side of the spectrum. Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan, he's a very solid player. He got 16 points and 6 rebounds. Um, he's compared to the modern day Dennis Rodman, which I can kind of see a little bit. Obviously, he's not as of a dirty player as Dennis Rodman, but he still brings that solid, gritty, power forward type player. And while Sohan is not as brutal as Rodman, he offsets that with him expanding his range from the perimeter, and he went 2 for 2, and which is definitely pretty solid, and he definitely has a good work ethic as well too. So Spurs, they have a solid future if they draft correctly in this draft class. If they get Victor Wembanyama, that would be pretty pretty that would be a pretty good bounce back, especially since the Spurs have a good system. But I mean, it doesn't even have to be Wembanyama. There are so many other really good prospects available. And Keldon Johnson, he did his thing as well too. 23 points, 3 for 7. Had an efficient game. His offense was just really there, so he was just scoring like crazy. He got a low rebounding game though, like 3 rebounds, but he got like a decent 2 assists. Jakob Poeltl, another player that I see the Clippers community want to go after for. People went as far as putting first round picks and Brandon Boston Jr. for, which is, man, no. Jakob Poeltl is pretty overrated in terms of trade values. I heard the Spurs say they want 2 first round picks for Jakob Poeltl. That guy couldn't even get 8 rebounds. He only got 6 rebounds as a big man, which is, man, no. And he just doesn't really impress me at all. And 2 first round picks. Jakob Poeltl, at best, he's worth probably 2 second rounders, really. He's nothing special in my opinion. He's just a decent big man, I guess. Um, but that's just my personal opinion. What do y'all think about Jakob Poeltl's trade value? He did get 4 assists, so I mean, I guess that is pretty good for a big man. But what y'all think about Jakob Poeltl? You think his trade value is way too high? Obviously, it is. He did have some good games, but he just doesn't really move me. Trey Jones, he got a good 8 assists. His scoring was pretty quiet. But yeah, Romeo Langford. I was somewhat kind of high on him when he was in the draft as well too, but he kind of faded off a little bit. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, that's pretty good for a shooting guard. 13 points. Was I high on Romeo Langford? I guess I was neutral, but I heard his name a lot. Zach Collins, he had an efficient night as a big man. He even had a 3, 7 for 9, 17 points, 4 assists. He got a low rebounding night though, only 2 rebounds, but his offense was there. Doug McDermott, he didn't really do much. His offense, he only had one field goal. I don't know who that is. Johnson. Stanley Johnson. Okay, my bad. 4 for 7, 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Stanley Johnson. He may not be as a player that people hype him up to be, but I still think he could be a decent journeyman. And if you need a 3-and-D defender, Stanley Johnson could be your guy. Josh Richardson. That man was also killing us too in the first half. He was scoring like crazy. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He could definitely be the Spurs trade piece to get some draft picks. His value's going up, I guess. Malachi Branham. I was also really high on him for this year's draft class. Last year draft class 2022. He had a really efficient college season when he shot like 40% from three, 45%. I want to say he was smooth, and he's more of a younger prospect, which pretty much I like to go after the younger prospects, and I feel he could be a solid player in the league, at least from what I've kind of seen a little bit when he was from Ohio, but he's having a little bit of a slower start since he's off the bench. But I believe the Spurs can develop him to be a pretty solid shooting guard. He could be like their building block. Let's just say Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, and whoever to take, either Scoot Henderson or Wembanyama or one of the Thompson twins, and then run him at the shooting guard. So the Spurs, they are a young and developing team. They put up a pretty good fight, but thankfully the Clippers pulled off the W. And we face against the Dallas Mavericks. Just please, 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 please beat the Dallas Mavericks, and please beat the Lakers on Tuesday. Just start a winning streak. That's all I ask for. But anyways, did you guys see the game? What do you guys think? Do you think will the Clippers actually get the winning streak going, or will the Clippers just fold and they will just lose? But please give me your opinion down below, and I will try my best to definitely get with you, to chat with y'all in the comment sections if there's something I need to say. But thank y'all really much for tuning in this video, and enjoy the rest of your Friday night or your Saturday. If you're watching this on a Saturday, I assume you're probably watching it on a Saturday. But take care. Much love. Peace. Much love.